I had a couple of fun months trying out the Lochby products. They reached out and offered me the opportunity to try out a few of their items, and I had a tough time selecting which ones I would choose. I naturally gravitated towards the A5 field journal. That's my happy space for long form journaling, and I was intrigued whether I could take the A5 format out into the field, which is not something I typically do. The pen pouch, any sort of pen pouch, always intrigues me, and this one was really neat for a lot of different reasons. And then the venture pouch, which was a little bit of a stretch in terms of what I typically use in my analog toolkit, and I thought I'd just take the opportunity to grab one. It's a little bit innovative. We'll take a closer look at that. Now, I'll be doing an honest review of all three products, what I really liked about them, what drawbacks there are, if any, at least from my approach and my perspective in terms of how I use these products. And if you're interested in picking up any one of these products, or if something catches your eye on their website, keep watching. I'll throw up a link that you can use to get a discount on these products. Before we get over to the desk and take a look at their products, let's talk about the company Lochby. They're based out of the US. They've got an office, I think, out in Toronto as well, and one more which is slipping the top of my mind. It was founded by Chris Elford. I hope I'm pronouncing his last name correctly. And he had spent some time in the US Army and really reflected on, when he got into fountain pens, what would be good, high-quality products that could be a little bit innovative and challenge what he felt was a good way of approaching being outdoors with your stationery products. He's got a couple of articles, or the website has a couple of articles on the differences between leather and canvas, and everything on the Lochby approach is all about canvas material for their products. And in a nutshell, Chris really felt, given his experience in the Army, that leather, while very aesthetically pleasing, has major drawbacks when you're getting it wet or being rugged with it. So he gravitated towards canvas, and he feels like it's a lot more rugged. And when it comes to sourcing their materials, they have a very international approach. The products are designed amongst their offices here in North America, but they source their materials internationally and get them assembled as well in different places. And everything ships out of New Jersey, out of the States. Now, given that these products are very much designed, or appear to be designed, to be in the outdoors or in rugged situations, based on the marketing of their website, which, by the way, the website is absolutely gorgeous and fantastic. They've done a really good job of marketing their products here. I was drawn to that aesthetic very much. I love hiking. I love being outdoors. And the last couple of months, I've had a lot of fun taking these products out. It was very tough for me to narrow which products to select, given their selection on their website. I gravitated towards the A5 just because I thought it would be really interesting to find out whether I could take an A5 into the field, which isn't necessarily my preferred format for being out and about. I really gravitated towards the Traveler's Notebook format. The other one that caught my eye is the Pocket Notebook, or the Pocket Journal, sorry. I didn't pick that one up. I had limited choices in terms of which products to pick, so the A5 was what intrigued me, and so we'll take a closer look at that. However, if you are interested in the Pocket Journal, that's also available on their website. It's designed around a field note size notebook. The Quattro pouch, the pen pouch, I was also intrigued about taking my fountain pens out and about into rugged situations and see what that was like. And then the venture pouch, which gave me the ability to carry a few more stationery items that I normally wouldn't if I was out hiking or doing things of that sort. So I took them hiking, and I dropped them in dirt. I got a couple of the products wet accidentally, and I just wanted to see how far I could push it, just very naturally, not intentionally, in terms of use around my family of kids and having little hands just kind of all over stuff and seeing if these things would fall apart. Without further ado, let's jump over to the desk. Let's take a closer look at these products, starting with the A5 journal, and see where we get to. The A5 Field Journal. This is canvas material, as all the Lochby products are. Has a metal clasp to shut the journal here. Stiff covers in the front and the back. It's like a solid piece of, I'm going to say cardboard or something like that in here. And then a stiffer spine that really holds things together there. So it's kind of a robust cover in itself. It weighs 300 grams, and it's deceiving because it feels lighter in your hands than perhaps it actually is. At 300 grams, compared to some of my other leather notebook covers, which run 210, 200, this is heavier. It is surprising, given that it feels so comfortable and light in your hands. And that's something to note right off the bat. The ergonomics on this thing have been well thought out. It comes in multiple colors, a brown, which is this guy here, which looks more like an olive brown or an olive green, a black, and a blue. One of the other things right away that you'll notice here is there's a strap on the spine of the field journal here. The idea being that you can hold it in your hand like so that when you're out and about, you've got the ability to carry it very comfortably. And if you're also journaling, you can hold it in one hand while you write. Inside, we have multiple pockets and sleeves. We got a sleeve right here, and another sleeve here as well. I'm going to take out this refill just to show you their system. Multiple elastic bands and 2 ribbon markers form the spine here. So you can put up to 4 inserts in here. Mileage may vary depending on the thickness of the insert that you are using. This is gorgeous in my opinion, this beautiful honeycomb yellow look. I love the combination of yellow with brown. I think it's a very great combination personally, aesthetic wise. And it feels it's definitely a polyester type material here, but it has a little bit of texture as well. And I think it's really lovely to touch and feel. Double stitching all the way around and throughout the cover here. On the right hand side, you've got this little spot here, and this is designed so that when you take the clasp off, and if you don't want it just dangling off the back like so, you can just wrap this and put it in here, tighten it up, and then you've got a spot dedicated for your clasp. And last but not least, you've got a pen loop over here, just in a simple pen loop, elastic stitched right into the cover here, and flops very much out of the way. On the back, you have an extra spot, a Velcro sleeve in here. And here, I'm going to show this from the top down. You can see the defined spine here in terms of that extra stiffness in the spine. As I mentioned, the covers, the front and the back cover are stiff, sort of a cardboard material in there, I'm guessing. It is stiff, it holds its shape. And the other thing that Lochby does is when you get one of these, is they give you an insert right away. And Lochby makes their own inserts and refills, which is pretty neat. They come with a dot grid insert. This is 5mm dot grid here. Tomoe paper, 68 gram Tomoe paper. It's gorgeous. 72 pages. And you can pick up their refills on their website as well. They come in different variations. You can get the dot grid, you can get a ruled, which is what I have in here. And you can get wide ruled, which gives you a little bit more wider spacing on the ruled, as well as a blank, and also a planner variation of their inserts and refills. Now, any insert system like this doesn't mean you have to use their proprietary inserts. You can use other refills and inserts, which I tend to do, in the Tomoe paper or the Midori MD A5s. Basically anything in an A5 size comfortably fit in this journal. The thing to keep in mind though is how much you stack them. So you can get 4 in here. We're going to go ahead and just do that. And I'll show you what that looks like. Pulling them in just like a child's notebook. Just put it right into the spine. tip for you if you're going to be putting in multiple inserts. Maybe start with the inside elastics. I didn't do that in this video here. And of course, that makes things just a little bit more challenging. But who doesn't like a good challenge every now and then? Just throw those page ribbons down the center, and now you've got 4 inserts. Now, if I were to do up the clasp, really shrink this down, you'll get this level of thickness in your field journal. You can also throw in a thicker size notebook, but then that'll constrain the level of inserts that you can, or the amount of inserts that you can put into it. I haven't personally tried stacking a thicker notebook in here with these thinner refill inserts, just because I think it'll become a little bit unwieldy in terms of closing the notebook. What I really like about this, let's talk about the likes. Other than the fact that it's super rugged, and I have taken this out, dropped this in mud and dirt, have gotten water on it. It shows somewhere. There's tiny spots from some of that kind of stuff here. It's held its own. It's very rugged. Even when it's wet, it doesn't feel like it's going to get damaged terribly, if at all. You can see a little bit of water staining right here, maybe not. But it doesn't change the aesthetic all that much. And if anything, it's wearing pretty nicely. I didn't do this, but you can definitely do this by taking the extra step with any sort of canvas material, which is applying a waterproofing to it. That'll give it that extra mileage with respect to making sure it's completely waterproof as well. At least waterproof in the sense that the cover won't get damaged. There are holes, obviously, for where the elastics and the page markers must go. Love the clasp, and I love the pen loop here off the side because it actually does stay off the side. Pen loops are so hit or miss and very subjective for people. I find this pen loop in particular very much stays off to the side. I love the sleeves. I think they're actually really, really great with respect to carrying quite a few things in your notebook, which I tend to do. So just certain reference material here in the back for my personal life. Now you'll see here, as I'm pushing this in, sometimes this thing can get caught on the paper that you're pushing in. So just a little bit of a design consideration. You just have to make sure that you lift it up and out of the way. Kind of pernickety there. Is pernickety a word? I actually don't know. Feels like it's a word because I'm using it, but I have a tendency to do that. Sleeves or card holders on the left-hand side here, and again, just another great big sleeve type place here. So it can hold a lot, and it can give you some really nice organization, which I really love about this. The other thing I really like is the strap in the back, giving that ability to hold it one-handed while you journal. I love the fact that I have the ability to carry A5 notebooks with different topics all in one cover. I think that's really neat. And that has given me the ability to experiment with taking the A5 format out into my hikes and journals, out into my hikes and outdoor pursuits, as well as just in and out around the office and things like that. So I find that this is a great idea and gives me that ability to enjoy what I like so much about my traveler's notebook, which is the multiple inserts with different topics all in one space. So I love that. I love the look, the aesthetic, and can't get enough of it from that perspective. It really challenged me because, like I said, I don't typically carry the A5 around with me, if at all. I generally find that a long-form journaling type of session for me. However, now I've experimented with carrying around multiple A5s and doing short notes and things like that in these notebooks, and I really like that. I love their inserts and their refills. It's really good quality paper. I enjoy writing on their Tomoe paper. I picked up a lined refill, and I think that's been really fun to experiment with. And I just I've been fun playing with different fountain pens in terms of the Tomoe paper as well. These are the things that I like about this journal. And there are a few drawbacks. Number one, if you're going to have the ability to carry 4 inserts in here, I wonder why you wouldn't just put in more page ribbons and have the ability to have a page ribbon for each of your inserts. And I get it. Page ribbons are very subjective for people. People either like them, don't like them, or use them in only some of their notebooks. So I can understand why they might have just put the 2 in here. Personally, I like to have a page ribbon in every one of my notebooks, so I wouldn't mind if they threw in just another couple of page ribbons. It's easy enough to do, and I might just do this myself. And you can see that the page ribbon just kind of wraps in here. You can stuff another page ribbon through the bottom and have the ability to have page ribbons that come up, or you can just sneak more page ribbons in here. The other things that were potential drawbacks is this clasp. It's cool from the perspective of being able to cinch down your notebook, but it's not so easy to do this one-handed. And like I said, I've had this for a couple months now, and I've been trying to break it in, but pulling it out can be a bit of a challenge, and I think it's the hook design on this. It's like I find that annoying at times, and I just have to make sure that I'm doing it the right way. Sometimes I get it in one go, sometimes I'm able to pull it out one go, but that's just because I've popped this up now. Now, if I were to leave it laying around and put it back this way, then again, I have to go in there, pop that up, and cinch it down that way. Love the cinching. The other thing about this clasp, which I find kind of annoying, other than the fact that it hangs off the back, like so, is then strapping it over here. Now, I use multiple fountain pens, so if I'm not using this fountain pen that I've got on my notebook, it's kind of annoying to use this clasp holder here, so you gotta make sure you pull that out. And again, same problem, where you have to really get that in, and then it makes sense. But I find this extra step kind of cumbersome, and not sure I am completely sold on that. The other drawback, personally, is the fact that for a product that's designed to be so rugged and outdoors, again, marketed that way, having dropped this once or twice accidentally in dirt and stuff like that, all that stuff gets in very easily through the sides, which is completely exposed. So if you were dropping this in water, which I have done once and got one of my older notebooks wet, which I didn't mind, but it's still exposed to the elements. So having a zippered version of this, I think, would be the next step, although it'll obviously add weight to this. So it's a bit of a trade-off that you're always investigating. That's really it. I have really enjoyed how it has integrated into my lineup, and the fact that I'm using it so much more. Runs for $54 US or 81 Canadian dollars. This one's a fun product for me. This is a Quattro pen pouch, obviously designed to carry your pens, and it was so cool for me that I ended up replacing my existing mobile pen carrier. I love the sleeve in the front here. This is effectively one big sleeve that wraps around the spine into the front, and this is a Velcro sleeve in here. So it gives you some extra space to carry things on. Occasionally, I carry my multi-tool in here, on top of my pens, like so. And other times, and again, it really just depends on what I'm doing on any given day. I'll carry an extra fountain pen and a few highlighters focused on studying or something like that. Just move all the stuff out of the way for a second. Talk about the inside. And I've already got a few writing instruments in here, my fountain pens. I'll just pull those out for a second because I think we should talk about a couple of things in here. First of all, it is gorgeous. I love the yellow and brown look. Can't say that enough. Comes in the same color options, a black, this is the brown, and a navy. Changes the colorway inside. And you can take those options on their website there. The pen sleeves are made out of that material on the outside here, that polyester material, and lots of stitching to make sure that we've got very protected and separated barriers for each of your pens in here. This is a plush felt-like material to protect your pens, which I really appreciate. And I think it's the attention to details in this, which I think is really great. Let me see if I can do this. So when you zip up the pen, they've intentionally designed your pens not to overlay on top of each other. I'm going to force it. So if you were to do that, for example, they've actually spaced it out so that the pens don't grind against each other inside the pouch. Brilliant attention to detail, something very much clearly a pen lover or a fancy writing instrument lover would really appreciate. Some fountain pens can get up into the hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands of dollars. So one would appreciate that extra consideration. Now, there's a lot to love. I can't say that I don't really like anything about this. I, in fact, have only one minor gripe, and it's that same attention to detail. It's kind of interesting. They've got just like a little bit of an aesthetic stitching thing going on here. I'm not sure why. I can't tell if it adds anything differently, but I would have preferred if they had just continued on with the consistent colorway here. So I'm talking about this black threading. Everything else is the yellow thread, and then you get into a random black thread here for whatever reason. I just always look at it wondering if I've got a fountain pen that's accidentally leaked inside here. Not the case. There's one more thing that I might consider as a bit of a drawback in this. Now, I've got some fairly regular sized fountain pens, which fit very beautifully in here. This one's a little bit larger, so you can tell the height difference in here. Aim, a little bit larger, so I'm just going from shorter to highest. And then this is one of my oversized pens, so really tall. Now you can tell right away that the larger the pen, the more limitation this pouch gives you, so you won't be able to carry really large oversized pens. This one just fits, but what I don't like about the fact that it just fits is that top of the pen is going to be rubbing up against the zipper here. Let's see if I can show that way. So if I were to zip it up, which I'm going to do, that pen is pressing up right against the zipper there. I wish it was just a touch larger for oversized pens, so that you can have a little bit more variability in on which pens and writing instruments you carry. I'm going to show this again because I just think it's so brilliant that they've done this. Look at that. They've spaced the pen sleeves accordingly so that nothing rubs up against each other. That's pretty cool. It zips up fine. It's just knowing that my pen cap finial over there is rubbing against the zipper every single time. Not a big deal for me, but maybe, obviously, enough for me to mention it. Can't say enough good things about the pen pouch. Other than that, I think it's fantastic. I love the small portability of it in your hands. The fact that you can carry so much. You can carry extra writing instruments. You can carry your multi-tools or knives in here as well. I just think that's so cool. The Quattro pouch here runs for $31 US or 43 Canadian dollars at the time of this video. And then there's the Venture pouch. This guy is an innovative product. What's innovative about this? So you've got your inner sleeve here, standard pouch. You've got a divider, and then you've got a couple of spots in here, Velcro, that you can put in. Now you can zip that guy closed, and you'll notice that there's a zipper over here as well. And you zip this guy open, and it gives you the ability to carry extra things in the back here in terms of additional tools, which I find really cool. I'll just tuck this multi-tool in here, for example. So now you've got certain things that you can be carrying in here. Every EDC lover's dream, I would say, to be able to carry multiple tools in here, which I think is fantastic. From a stationery perspective, I've carried multiple paintbrushes and additional writing instruments or highlighters and stuff like that. I've used this as a dop kit as well in terms of traveling. So it's not going to give you a ton of space, extra space in terms of a dop kit, depending on what you like to carry in your dop kit. Just keep that in mind. And then the other thing that this Venture pouch has are these two D-rings here. which give you the ability to run a strap through, so you can carry it as a sling across your body, or if you want to make a little bit of a hand strap, you can carry it as a hand strap as well. Extra strap here for holding like so, and it is, again, a canvas material. I just want to do a quick comparison in the colors because I think that's important as well. These are all brown. Now, depending on the canvas run that you're getting, your brown may vary. Brown, brown, brown. I picked brown as consistency and all of that. This one's the lightest, I would say. Lighter and a dark brown. So keep that in mind when you're ordering. There is a little bit of variation in what you're getting with respect to colorway. Lots to like about this, but I want to talk about a couple of drawbacks I find. So let's say I'm filling this guy up here with stuff, with tools. Say I've got a few things in here. In fact, I'll just go one extra step. Something like that. Then I close this all up. Now, because of how this venture pouch is designed, when you go to open up the other side, you'll notice that your divider has now suddenly increased in bulk based on what you've put it into your tool side there. So it starts limiting the space of what you can fill this up with pretty quickly. And when you start doing stuff like this and just packing it and packing and packing it, I'm just going to pack it just because to try and make it this point here. Now you're starting to get this thing bulking out. So limit space depending on how you use it. So you've got to keep that in mind and keep some considerations there. I use this primarily for carrying my watercolor kit if I'm out and about, and my paintbrushes, or if I'm going camping, a couple of tools with respect to camping tools like knives and stuff like that. And generally, if it's just kind of day-to-day use, if I'm going to the office, it's to carry medication, bit of a dop kit, toothbrush and stuff like that. The venture pouch runs for $49 or 68 Canadian dollars. As I mentioned at the start of this review, it's not every day that I get products that revolutionize my stationery and analog lineups, and these guys have done very much that. I'm very intrigued with what Lochby releases in the future. If they release a Traveler's Notebook regular size version of their journals, I think I will very much be picking up one of these guys here. I think also their refills and their inserts are really cool. They're really fun, and I'd be curious if they expand their lineup there as well. They are innovating their existing products. This field journal, I think, hasn't changed at all since their inception of their company. They are talking about changing out the class. They're talking about adding a zipper around this guy. So I think they are very much looking to take some feedback and keep improving their products. Very neat, very cool, and I think it has become very integral to my lineups here in terms of how I use my stationery toolkit. Thank you again, Lochby, for letting me use some of your products and for giving me this opportunity to try out some of these products here. If you are interested in picking up any of their products, whether that's the three that I've showed here today or if there is something that catches your eye on their website, use this link here. This will give you a 10% discount, and I will also throw it in the description below. If you have Lochby products out there, I'm curious how your mileage has varied with them. Let me know if you like the Lochby products or if there are certain things you didn't like in the comments section below. Thanks for watching. Take care. Have a wonderful day, and bye for now.